What'd you get, sir?
No, that's the same thing they just said. I just came in and drove. They asked me to play.
Oh,
Now someone's.
oh, I didn't kick it to my side.
Okay. How you doing?
Good evening, and welcome to roll call. Councilmember Dunn.
Here.
Councilmember Romero. Councilmember Mandel. Vice President Bendo.
Present.
President Moore.
President.
Let the record indicate the presence of acting city manager John Rando and acting.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. We want to welcome you to our city council meeting on Wednesday, November 6th. At this time, we're going to have a special present for our associates, along with Howard Bittner from New York State Comp Alliance. We're going to ask that you would just give a warm welcome at this time. I'm going to ask the council if they can kindly come down to the front at this time.
Nice to meet you.
Good stand, I would stand. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here this evening. So my name's John Dina. I'm with Arthur J. Gallagher. We're the insurance brokers for the city of Long Beach. This is Howard Bittner. He's with the New York State Municipal Comp Alliance. The Comp Alliance handles the workers' compensation for the city. The Comp Alliance is sponsored by the New York Conference of Mayors, the New York State Association of Towns. So we're here today to present a check to the city in the amount of $46,000 representing funds that the Comp Alliance is returning to its membership as part of the success that they have been having and understanding the fiscal strain municipalities across the state are under. They've decided to return some of the proceeds that they collected over the years back to their membership. So Howard's going to present that check to the city.
On behalf of the city council, we gladly receive this award at this time. We thank the New York State Comp Alliance for recognizing all of our efforts with respect to moving forward and making sure that our city has all of the funds that it desperately needs. And so we accept this award at this time, and we thank you for taking the time to be here to present this award. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Some of the council members.
One, two, three.
Good to go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
dictate to the compliance and make sure that we have a resolution drafted for the next meeting to accept the check. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'll have a report from our acting city manager.
First, I would like to commend all the candidates for city council who put themselves out there and sought election to the council, as well as congratulate the incoming city council members. Thank you to everyone who joined together with the city, county, and state officials, religious leaders from local congregations, and Holocaust survivors for prayer, remembrance, and testimony this past Sunday at the Sixth Floor City Hall to commemorate the 81st year since Kristallnacht. Got a little tongue tied there. Mondays with the manager is now Meet the Manager. Meet with the Manager, an opportunity for residents to meet with the acting city manager without appointment, will now include opportunities from 4:30 to 6:30 before the second meeting of the city council each month, generally the third Tuesday. Schedule is as follows through the end of the year: Monday, November 18th from 2 to 4, Tuesday, November 19th from 4 to 2 to 4, and Monday, December 9th from 2 to 4, Monday, December 16th, 2 to 4, Monday, December 23rd, 2 to 4, Tuesday, December 17th. The Meet with the Manager hours are canceled for Monday, November 11th, Veterans Day. Meet with the Manager will resume Monday, November 18th from 2 to 4 at the city manager's office on the 5th floor City Hall. We've had a pretty good flow of people coming in, so it's been very helpful. The Joint Veterans Organization, in cooperation with the City of Long Beach, will host the annual Veterans Day commemoration ceremony. This year's service will take place on Monday, November 11th at 10:30 a.m. inside City Hall on the 6th floor. The Veterans Day ceremony is the community's way to publicly thank the many veterans who have bravely served our country. A collation will be held at City Hall after the service, all are welcome to attend. In addition, City Hall, the Magnolia Senior Center will be closed in observance of this holiday. Youth and Family Daycare, the Recreation Center, Ice Arena, and Youth and Family Holiday schedule. The city's public works schools will be flushing hydrants from tonight, Wednesday, November 6th, to Wednesday, November 20th, between the hours of 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. Hydrants are flushed to remove line deposits and sediment from the system. It also allows us to know that the hydrants are working properly. During this time, you may experience some low pressure or water discoloration, especially when flushing takes place in your neighborhood. When hydrants are open to flush, the system line deposits can be removed by the high volume of water flowing through the pipes, resulting in a temporary and harmless discoloration of the water. This discoloration is from lime, which is naturally present in water and builds up deposits along the inside of our water pipes. We suggest that you keep a pitcher of clean water in your refrigerator. Once the hydrant flushing is complete, the water quality will return to normal. Avoid doing laundry between 10 p.m. and 10 a.m. When hydrants are being flushed, run cold water for 2 to 3 minutes after flushing. Hours to be sure your water is clear. If clothes become discolored, wash with a rag. For more information, you can visit www.longbeachny.gov/publicworks. And a roll call went out tonight to all the residents on that.
Okay, thank you once again, Acting City Manager John Miranda. Just a brief report from the council. Just want to once again encourage all of you to participate in our annual and just celebrate our veterans and their contributions to our local community. Secondly, we'd like to inform you that last response. On Monday, this Monday, November 4th, the conference call was held with Farrell and Fritz, the Farrell and Fritz legal firm. The council majority moved to accept a retainer from Ingram and Smith. As of 6:16 this evening, it was community response. A special meeting of the city council will be called this Friday, November 8th at 7:30 a.m. And now on to the agenda items.
Okay, the first item is a public hearing, the resolution granting waiver of Oak Street parking requirements for premise 78 East Park Avenue for a natural hair products retail store.
Okay, at this time, we're going to open the hearing. We'll hear from the National Healing Products Retail Store. Good evening, how are you? And welcome. Can you just briefly tell us some information with respect to the nature of your business?
Sure. So everything would be derivative of.
We're hoping we need you to use that microphone. If you can just lift it a little bit, move it a little bit closer to the mic.
Make sure it's on.
Make sure it's on.
So the nature of this will be all about natural healing, holistic healing, the natural pain relief, anti-anxiety, anti-inflammatory. Everything is based off of derivative of the hemp plant, which is a non-THC CBD product that I'm sure a lot of you have heard about. It's helping worldwide right now.
Yes.
So that's what the story is going to be based on.
Okay, and once again, the city is not at this time granting a bike rack, but are you interested in having a bike rack in front of your establishment?
No, sir.
Okay, and can you speak to the drop-off? At what times will the drop-offs take place? Will there be any deliveries?
Probably not that, and I have a lot of stuff that comes to the home, but I'm not bringing myself, yes. Not like there being a lot of high shot, except
And also, we're still moving forward in terms of really thinking about the environment and being environmentally active.
Sure, so business owners that are in the area will get 10% off anything that's in the store, any local business owner, as well as there'll be a senior discount that's every single day. So it'll be always available to the community, especially people that are on, I'll be joining a lot of different programs that pain, wellness, discussion, things like that, and telling people about how they want to opioids and whatever else.
So, all right, at this time, I'll ask the council, are there any questions at this time? Okay, at this time, we will open the floor to our public questions with respect to the Natural Healing Products retail store. Okay, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the hearing. We will render our vote shortly, so we'll ask you at this time to sit down at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, onto the regular calendar. Item one is a resolution granting waiver of Wall Street parking requirements for terms of 78 East Park Avenue for the National Healing Products Retail Store. Hearing's been held on this item already. Item two is a resolution authorizing the acting city manager to enter into a software agreement with the city's tax.
Great flower. Good evening.
Good evening. As we discussed at the capital budget hearing, the assessment administrator's this contract is to upgrade the software with our current software provider, who also provides much of the software on the third floor, including the building, tax, water, sewer, and water clerk's office. The contract is the upgrade and the maintenance for 3 years. I have Alex Zane, the Vice President of Operations of SBA, the software provider here, if you have any questions for him.
Okay, any questions from the council?
Just one quick question. In the resolution, it says funds,
All right, at this time, are there any questions from members of the public with respect to item number 2? Okay, yes, Mr. Lester.
Good evening, Roy Lester. This particular software, that was designed strictly for the city.
Okay.
It was developed back in the early 90s for, I believe,
It was originally it was designed as a cooperative agreement between us, the town of Mount Pleasant, and the village of, the town of Round Rock. We got together and we were having problems with the software that was provided by the state. It was not doing what we needed. We could run reports that we needed. It was very limited in its capabilities. We cooperatively went together to have the software developed. And now it's on.
But this company only has 100 customers.
The company has about 200 customers, if you're including the building software, the assessment, and the tax program.
And when was it developed?
The original version was developed in the late 90s, early 2000s.
So we've had the same software.
Still,
Okay, and what, have we looked at other software developers? Because there are other people that put out.
quotes from other companies that would have to be developed in New York State. New York State has specific laws that the software has to meet, and the cost involved for like over 200,000 to 300,000. So if we want to do the entire software suite, which includes building tax, you're talking close to $1 million for the software and maintenance.
The personal information, inventory, sales history, it doesn't seem like a lot of variables.
There's a lot.
And that is, it's transferred to our tax department, as New York State law, mailing out tax bills, and converting reports to New York State Office of Property Tax Services also.
All right, so it's my understanding that in other words, this is going to allow the operations to actually function, and that is the purpose of moving forward with this data upgrade.
Well, that would be the purpose of any software in this, to allow it to actually function.
Absolutely,
The
but
question is-
you're not,
Yes, that would be the purpose of any software.
exactly.
My question is, we're upgrading it, and yet immediately we have to, we're upgrading it for $34,000, which I find a lot of money to upgrade a piece of software. And then we're paying another $12,000 a year for the next 3 years. It just seems, I don't know, I'm assuming you guys did your due diligence. It just seems to me like a lot of money for a piece of software that doesn't seem to be that complicated. Now, the other question is, you put in the home values.
I approached the assessor in Nassau County, and it was a little complicated, and I didn't get a straight answer on it, and Tyler software doesn't communicate with our software, so we have to develop some sort of bridge program, transfer building permits, transfer our assessment roles, tax department. So we create work, or we have to develop some sort of bridge program, and we also have to hire a consultant to convert all of our data. So we have our historical data. So that's a huge cost that we went with another software provider. We have to convert data and then have bridge programs and then you have to.
But to be honest, this company, this is proprietary to this company. And if this company goes out of business, we're screwed, aren't we?
Okay, I want to represent.
Operations for Software Consulting Association. We have been in business for 35 years, and we plan to continue to do business for many more years. We do have, almost all of our clients are in New York, and have been, especially the assessment system, has been developed for the unique and somewhat complicated rules of New York assessing. So when we're talking about this upgrade, we're going from D-based to SQL to a web-based program that will include all of the functionality of the old program, including all of the different modules such as Defender, which allows you to make comparables and defend your assessments, handling co-op.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Why is it difficult to use the state program? New York State is using their program. Long Beach is more complicated.
He can give you, I'm sure the data.
The New York State software, many of my colleagues, no one knew it. The state takes ownership of your data, so if you have a problem with your software, you have to call and ask them to update or correct something, and they do not answer to you. Like a software provider, you call them, they want to object, they have to fix the problem. Many municipalities downstate don't use the state software.
They use Tyler, right?
Nassau County uses Tyler, which is an expensive suite. People won't afford that. The Garden City is doing an upgrade and they're spending quite a few $100,000 for all their software building to their finance. To convert the data.
So in other words, this data doesn't convert easily.
It doesn't, it's difficult.
You understand my concern?
Okay,
When I,
one second, thank
I've
you.
been involved in data conversion with the county, when we did the initial reassessment back in 2002. It was a lot of work to convert our data to different databases. It took a long time, and it didn't come out too clean.
Oh, yeah. that doesn't convert easily to what other people are using. And,
Thank
know,
you.
And I assume we're gonna be putting the city in a position where we have one vendor that can't be converted easily.
Understood. Are there any other questions from the public? I see none, let's move on to the next item.
I agree to a resolution authorizing the acting city manager to amend the agreement for the replacement and installation of a pump at well number 16 at the water purification plant at Trans Pumps.
Okay, well 16, we had put out a contract to replace the pump. The existing pump had went out past its useful life. Was no longer pumping correctly. So we were replacing with a submersible pump. When that contract started, the pump went in, we started to pull mud from the well. We then went to TV the well, and we found is that the riser pipe on the screen and collapsed into the screen. So what we now need to do is to actually clean out the screen, pull out the existing riser pipe, put in a new riser pipe or a sleeve.
Council. You see none, are there questions from members of the public?
Wait, let's go on. This is, how much was the pump?
The pump project was just a little over $100,000 to begin with.
I'm just,
The pump portion of it, I'd have to look at the bid, but the entire project for the purchase. In addition, there was some other work we had to do with the well house. When you replace wells now, you have to replace the sanitary seals, but it's all encompassing. You just can't replace the pump without doing all this other work, right?
so, I mean, this is,
This was based on a bid, it was a little over $100,000, and that included to redo the well to meet the base elevation for the steel, and to install the pump and to rework the pipe work that needed to do. So it was all one lump sum bid.
and when we buy these pumps, there's no guarantee on them?
There's nothing wrong with the pump.
Well, it
The
says-
riser pump, the riser well, okay, the well is 1,400 feet deep. The pump itself is set at about 150 feet into the well.
Yeah.
Okay? The riser pipe sits on top of the screen at the bottom of this 1,400 foot deep casing, which allows the water to flow into the well. The riser pipe collapsed into the screen, which allowed materials from the ground or the aquifer around it to fill the screen.
Well, when it says indicating a possible void in the casing, you're talking about the pump casing or the riser casing?
We're talking about the riser inside the casing of the well.
Okay.
The city manager made payment to the Long Beach Local Development Corporation.
Okay, we've, at the last meeting, we had a resolution to hire our new auditors. ABZ, who was our previous auditor, has work papers that belong to that they had done for LCD that belong to ABZ. Under accounting rules, we need to get those work papers. The LCD does not have enough money to pay ABZ for their audit of the LCD, the LDC, and therefore, the city needs to pay that so that we can move on with our audit and get all the work papers for our audit. And that's basically it.
Okay, are there any questions at this time from members of the council? Okay, at this time, we'll open up and ask if there are any. Good evening, Liz. Hiya.
Just the LDC, because I remember a few months ago that everyone owed $20,000 for law services, but no one knew what the LDC did. And now it seems like just me as a resident, that one company is holding another company hostage for some money. You know, that's not the way it is, but it's just here.
Okay, Patty Bourne, oh, okay, I recognize our comptroller as well, so we're gonna. You wanna help me pull that?
how are you? I just want to clarify something about about holding hostage. There are some very strict rules that are prescribed for the fashion, their fees for prior audits. They do their independence.
I'd say they have a very strict ethics code, which I appreciate.
So they
I'm just curious about the whole LBC, whether still putting money.
Right, so that would be,
Yeah.
yes, we want to speak to that as kind of,
Is that because it's not on the agenda? I don't know.
So if I can just go into that for a minute, I think, obviously the LDC was formed just a little bit before I came to the city, but I think the LDC was contemplated at a time when the city was considering some big projects like the super block. Obviously that didn't materialize in the way that it was anticipated. And right now, we have this LDC that has all these expenses and no income flowing in because it's doing no work. And the problem is, you know, for a smaller development, let's say for bigger projects, which we don't really have going on here. So that's why we've begun to look into dissolution of the LDC. We realize that this is an expense. So we're looking into dissolving it, and based on our preliminary look, we have to follow the same formalities in dissolving it as we did in creating it. So we're going to be looking into that very shortly, and, you know, it's going to cost some more money to dissolve it.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Lester.
I remember, I guess it was about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, when we were voting for the money for the LDC, to represent, to dissolve. And now we're talking over a year later, more expenses, and you're looking into dissolving it. Why, they voted to dissolve. And the excuse at that time was, well, there's the lawsuit, so you know, we have to take care of the lawsuit, which was taken care of, and they still haven't been allowed to dissolve, and now we have more expenses.
The loss is still pending.
And you're telling me that they can't dissolve by the lawsuit's pending?
I'm not doing that, I'm just saying the loss is still pending.
Okay, so why aren't they dissolving? Why are we having more expenses?
You know, you said they voted to dissolve it. I'm not sure that there's been a resolution passed by the LDC's board to.
Well, that's what we were told.
Maybe our executive director could shed some light on it.
The lawsuit and the resolution by the city council, as Mr. Lester mentioned, we were recommended not to dissolve the LDC while the lawsuit was active. And the board of the LDC resolution to submit to the city council and the city manager to dissolve at that time. They were concerned about it, and as Greg said, we're looking into it, but did not do it at that time.
thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, thank you. So, when you say you're looking into it, what does that mean?
That means analyzing how much it's going to cost, analyzing the anticipated legal fees, and asking about the process of dissolving it. We don't even have a resolution to dissolve it, but I thought.
It would cost to dissolve. My understanding is it's a relatively simple thing to dissolve.
If you would like to offer your services to dissolve it, we can talk after the meeting.
Okay, then it'll get done. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nora Egan?
Nora Egan. So as of July 24, 2018, the corporation didn't have a formal agreement with the city. Have they since made a formal agreement with the city?
I'm not sure what, yeah.
So regarding the corporation's use of city personnel and office space. So are we using office space for the LDC and city personnel?
Well, the executive director of the LDC is also a city employee. I'm not sure what you're asking.
So, well, I'm confused about this letter that I just found from ABC from 2018. If we have no agreement with fees, and why are we giving them 2,500 now?
I mean, I think a lot of that is explained in the whereas clauses, that there are certain ethical rules that accountants must follow, and they're not going to turn over the city's audit files to our new auditors unless all the invoices are clear.
Okay, so then this is from 2018, so there should be a similar letter for 2019, or?
I'm not sure what you're looking at, so I can't comment. I think,
So LGC is around December 31st. And the audit that we're talking about is the December 31st, 2017 audit that was incorporated into the June 30th, 2018 financial statements of the city. That probably addresses part of your question. You said there will be more, yes, there will be more because they were in existence at December 31st, 2018, right? That's the year that the Benefia's Group is going to audit now. For the inclusion, Benefia's Group or new auditors are going to audit LDC's financials for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2018. And they're still in existence now, so probably will be in December, so we're pleased to open about 18 and 19.
You said 2018 and 19.
I guess I'll let it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Oh, okay. We'll recognize Penny Moore once again.
You know, it's with regret that the LDC has on projects, but as Greg mentioned, they just haven't been appropriate. And the LDC was created before I started working for the city. But I do want to mention, which we've talked about before, C3 with treasury recognition. Therefore, we've been able to bring in, since inception, about $200,000 and $10,000 per year at this time. Small amounts now, we brought in a lot more right after Sandy. The use of these funds typically are for programs to support economic development and the promotion of the city. They cannot be typically used for administrative costs. That's why we have this expense tonight for the cost for the audit, because the funds we brought in could not be used for that purpose.
Thank you.
Just adding before we go, just one quick question. So when we apply for grants for whatever it's administrative, so any kind of municipal improvement and downtown improvement. If the grant applications will go from the LDC rather than the city, is there any for the city?
No, I don't think so. Some grants are only eligible for municipalities such as the city. Some grants are only eligible for 501c3, such as through foundations. TSCG Foundation, Citibank Foundation, other bank foundations, the way they're created, cannot give money directly to municipality. Therefore, we go through the LDC, other disaster areas. I've talked to be honest, with every the last couple of years, trying to pull money in for us, as well as, of course, other groups.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, Jim Kirkland, Long Beach, New York. I wanted to know what are the transactions of the IBC if they needed to borrow money?
The expenses for the LDC are twofold. One, minimal expense that is required under New York State Public Authority, specific requirements for a certain kind of audit and for responding to the state requirements. Those are the only two costs we have at this time.
Thank you.
Are they considered ongoing, continuous costs or just periodic?
We try to minimize the attorney costs if we can, but the audit has to be done for each year, as Ian explained. So it's an annual cost for the audit.
So there should only be one time for request.
All right. Michael Lurie?
Good evening, Council Mike Delory. The last time I remember this conversation, Scott Nanko was the president of this LPDC corporation. I remember the conversation was primarily at that point, it was $25,000 that had to be moved over from the general fund to this entity. Are the primary expenses of this corporation legal fees? Can new board members be assigned to it because of litigation? It has to wait until this is resolved.
The $25,000, which the city council approved, was put into a separate fund to pay for the lawsuit with iStar. And it was an interest account, which Greg can explain legal issues. And what we did was we created a totally separate account, and that account was where we deposited $25,000 to be used only for legal expenses regarding the iStar litigation. In regard, does that answer the question? Regarding the board, we have a 5-member board, and right now we have 5 members. They serve at the pleasure.
Can you just speak in the microphone so that those individuals who are speaking aloud can hear your question?
Is it the city council or the city manager that, at the pleasure of the board? I just need a clarification how if a member or director wanted to resign or be replaced, how would that process be handled? Thank you.
The LGC has a member, which is the city manager, and I wasn't here when they were appointed, and I can check it to be sure, but it's my impression that the city manager appoints the members to the LGC board, but I can check that and get back to you.
At this time, we're seeing then we can move on to the agenda.
On to the voting portion. So item 1 is the large details. Introduce and move the adoption of this item. Second. Morning, Councilmember Diamond.
Yes.
Councilmember Morano.
Yes.
Councilmember Mandel.
Yes, good luck.
Vice President Bendo.
Welcome to the neighborhood and good luck. Yes.
President Moore.
Congratulations, well done. Then I vote yes.
Item 2 is a resolution authorizing the acting city manager to enter into a software agreement, for the city's tax assessor's office. Introduce and move the adoption of this item.
I will.
Second.
I will.
Morning, Councilmember Diamond.
Yes.
Councilmember Morano.
Yes.
Councilmember Mandel.
Yes.
Vice President Bendo.
Yes.
President Moore.
Yes.
Item 3 is a resolution authorizing the acting city manager to amend the agreement for the replacement and installation of a pump. Second.
I will.
Morning, Councilmember Diamond.
Yes.
Councilmember Morano.
Yes.
Councilmember Mandel. President Moore.
Yes.
Just move the adoption of this item.
I will.
Second. Morning, Councilmember Diamond.
Yes.
Councilmember Morano.
Yes.
Councilmember Mandel.
Yes.
Vice President Bendo.
Yes.
President Moore.
Yes.
City manager's monthly personnel report has been filed by the city clerk. Will make a motion to close the meeting.
I will.
Second.
I will.
Councilmember Diamond.
Yes.
Councilmember Morano. Councilmember Mandel.
Yes.
Vice President Bendo.
Yes.
President Moore.
Yes. Okay, now on to the good. Just provide some information with respect to some of the questions that were raised during the previous meeting.
Okay, first item was about the water rates and what the impact was. So the water rates last year were raised at 2% in every block rate. Block rates that go from 0 to 12,000 gallons usage, which is the minimum charge. Last year was 4.1 per thousand, went to $4.50 per thousand. From 12,000 gallons used to 150,000 gallons used in a 3-month period. That went from $4.72 to $4.81. That went from $4.79 a thousand to $4.89. 300,000 to 600,000 gallons is the next block. That went from $5.01 to $5.11. And 600,000 and above went from $5.50 to $5.61. Therefore, minimum quarterly bill, if you use the minimum amount of water in a quarter of 12,000 or less, your minimum bill will increase by $1.08. If someone used 150,000 gallons in a quarter, that's 1,660 gallons a day, the bill would increase in that quarter by about, whether LVGT still owes the city money, I believe for last year's LVGT event, we have billed them for this year's LVGT event at no discount. As soon as they get their grant, they will be paying us. So that's the way it worked last year too. They're generally just about a year behind in paying us because they wait for the grant that comes in from Nassau County. And the last item was somebody had raised a question about employees' children going to the daycare center for free. There are no children of employees that are going for free. We do have 4 people, not 2 that are not employees, that do owe money, and they have been sent to Dunning notice.
All right, thank you. At this time, we recognize, ask for the rest to come forward.
I've never been first. You should put it on the bottom. It's great. I'm really happy to see, in the sense that you are hiring an attorney to address this, and I don't think there'll be any problem to get the adjournment. But the question is, and it's been going back and forth, do we really need to answer this? Legally, as I understand, the research seems to show we were asked to answer it, but is there a legal obligation to answer the audit?
I can answer that. No, there's no legal obligation to answer the audit. If you don't answer, the audit becomes final as is, and then you begin work on the corrective action plan within 90 days of that.
But don't we have to do that anyway? I mean, the audit basically tells us what we did wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the audit isn't mandating anything. They're saying, hey, you guys, you can improve by doing this. This is where you ran into the problems, I mean, why do we need to hire an additional attorney to respond to suggestions?
I think you should ask other members of the council. I mean, I brought that forward
But you
some time ago.
You might be right, and that's why I want to get your
But
take on it.
I've listened to other people, I've listened to those individuals who are specialized in being, I guess what we want to call it, and then move forward with the corrective action. But that's what I was told.
But Anissa, what I'm asking is there, and I guess I'm asking the high council, is there a necessity to hire another attorney for this?
So, first off, that question was already answered because apparently an attorney was already hired to do this, so
Not,
to do this as well.
not what the retainer says.
I can't split hairs here, I'm not debating you, I'm just telling you what has happened.
Question? Probably not, because I probably not want to. The more you say, the more they can hold you to. So, I probably, if it's just suggestions and there's nothing requiring me, sometimes the less said, the better. I'm just, I'm confused, and that's why because I understood that we were mandated. And I think a lot of other people understood that too. That, because they said,
The whole thing was done under a shroud of secrecy.
Keep in mind, there were council members who were excluded from this. The only thing we know is there was an attorney who was retained for one scope of work.
Yes.
That attorney's scope was apparently expanded, and he did something else, and he contacted the city to review that response, review what the audit was, and to guide us. I'm an attorney, but I'm not that attorney. So if you're asking me my opinion, yes, we do need an independent attorney to come in, guide, should we not, it's already been done, and we're at a crossroads.
You're talking about bringing in an expert to tell us what's right and wrong. That's different than putting in an answer. And I think what you guys did by rejecting the answer that was put in by somebody you did not hire, you didn't even know about, and you paid over $100,000 for, I think that was absolutely the correct thing to do. At the entire audit, of course you want experts to look at it. Of course you want them to say, hey, this is what you can do. Okay.
And also the point is, what you're saying, maybe that will wind up being, it's possible that will wind up being the answer. That's why we need legal counsel to tell us that.
Okay.
Quite frankly, we're the only ones in this whole process that did not have legal counsel to consult with. We talked with, they said, you guys need one.
Everyone needs a lawyer.
Eileen Hessen?
Eileen Hessen, Long Beach. Maybe this was just answered. Was he talking about Capizzola? The lawyer that was hired? Mr. Capizzola?
Oh, yes. Yes.
All right, so is he still working for the city of Long Beach?
Yes,
Why?
because there's various things that he was retained to assist us with.
So we're still paying him. I disagree. Thank you.
Okay. Laura Egan?
James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street, Long Beach, New York. Just want to say, in our city and volunteering. I was to be one for several years, so thank God for the work you do. I'm standing to say I would like to congratulate all of those this past election, all of those that won their election, and all of those that fought a good race and just came up a little short. Thank you for even throwing your name in the hat. Jerome, I want to say again, thank God for everybody's story and everybody's history. I've been coming in for many years, and I thank God for the opportunity for what you have been able to do, Lisa, President Moore. Thank you, ancestors that looked down, that fought so hard several times and came up short. On others, they smiled down. You made history. Thank God for your story, just like we thank God for everyone's story and celebrate. This is something that can never be taken away from the history books of the city of Long Beach. Thank God for what you've been able to do with other council members and Americans in them believing just like Obama did. And just like Shirley Chisholm said, she said, you know, you don't make progress by standing on the sidelines whimpering and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas. And she was the first African American Congress lady. And you got in and you threw your name in the hat. Just like those elected officials that are coming in, they're going to see that it's not an easy thing. It's hard. It's hard making decisions. Some people get in. Things are not as easy as it appears to be. So again, I just want to say that I'm praying always for our city and in my 40 years of living and been in politics since 14 years old. I thank you, all of the residents here, and all of the residents and people to come in the future.
Sure, thank you so very much for your statement. At this time, we hear from Ms. Preston.
couple of follow-up questions primarily for our acting city manager. The solid waste treatment program that we attended a couple of weeks ago, the draft date is due tomorrow. You didn't mention anything about that in your earlier statement. Can you just
Come up and go over those dates. You'll have them right on the tip.
I don't know about that.
thank you, Joe.
Yeah, no problem.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yes, the comment period for the draft local solid waste management plan ends tomorrow. You are correct. The next phase is, we'll incorporate any comments we receive at the meeting, as well as any other comments we receive into that draft, plan, and that will be submitted to the DEC. Okay.
And do you know the turnaround from the DEC because it's a 10-year program?
Hopefully faster than the last one.
Yeah, the last
3
one
years.
was many years of, hopefully this one. Handled well. I think we're at the final years of this.
Just checking, I'll answer this question too. It's important for our community, and if you could just briefly go over that because I know there's.
Yeah, the CRS stands for Community Rating System. In the city of Long Beach, the residents enjoy a 15% reduction in their flood insurance premiums. That's because of our participation in this program. Basically, in August of this year, I received a call from the insurance service office, basically saying that the Nassau County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan we use as the prerequisite for participation in the CRS program had expired. So we can no longer use it as the prerequisite for the program. So basically what would happen at the end of this year would be dropped from the program. So residents would have lost that 15% reduction. So what we did was we put out a request for proposals, very quick turnaround time, and we ended up hiring Tetra Tech to prepare a flood management. So we have a very an expedited schedule that we've been working through since August. And then we'll make a final thought, which we did. We got some negative feedback on that we had it too early, which we are going to change. The next one we're going to have a little later to accommodate the residents. We'll probably have like 6:30 instead of 5 o'clock. But we did have a hectic day today. We had a meeting at 3 o'clock, we had a meeting at 5 o'clock, now we have a council meeting. So it's been a little longer. We will change the time to accommodate, and hopefully that participation, because in the public meeting, we only had about 10, 15 people. So we'd like to get a better representation.
And just one last question regarding Mr. Capizzola. Can you pronounce his name, please?
Capizzola.
Mr. Capizzola, you said that he is being retained for whom?
He represents the city in various investigations.
Can you elaborate on that at all?
Because of the nature of what he works on, no, I can't.
Earlier from Kathleen O'Leary.
Hi, Catherine O'Leary, Long Beach. First, I'd like to say that getting the questions answered from the previous meeting is extremely helpful. And I think Dennis, you proposed it last time, and it's very helpful because I have misconceptions. Yeah. I would like to request that, I watched the election last. Glenn Cole just elected a new mayor and was done with it. We've been playing around with the city manager stuff for literally years. And I would like to suggest that we give until the end of the year to hire a permanent city manager. And if that city manager is not at his desk or her desk the first of the year, that a resolution be added to
To change to a mayoral system would require a referendum, because there was one in, what, 2008 or something? Right, 2007, they had one, and it was city council, where it would take a referendum of the entire city, vote with the population.
Could that be added to the 2020 election?
It's not just a simple 1, 2, 3.
No, I get it, but, I often find that when it's in the city's advantage, it's very easy to change the charter, but when it's in the residents' advantage, it becomes very hard and expensive. So I'm thinking that if we could draw the line for the first of the year and just say, okay, city manager search is over, let's get cracking on putting it before the city council, let's get cracking on, making a resolution on the November 2020 presidential election, ballot. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. This concludes our meeting. Going to once again recognize all of our Long Beach Auxiliary Police. We thank you for your service. We thank all of you for taking the time to come out to this meeting. Again, have a wonderful evening.